Nice one.
Nice.
Nice. So that should be working nicely really for us now.
Cool.
I've paid for it. I've gone for it.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I've paid for it. I just thought it's not. You could do the annual one, so I think it worked out about £9, really.
Yeah,
So nine
that's
quid
not
a
too
month.
bad.
So I thought it's not too bad. I should really be doing it with the 1-to-1s. I usually use Google Meet. I don't know what you use when you do the mentoring.
I use Google Meet as well, actually. Yeah, I signed up for that one just because, again, you can't record on Google Meet without paying for it, which is, I guess how they're just getting you for those extra pro features. But yeah, I don't know.
I know.
But it's all these subscriptions. You think, oh, it's only £9 a month, but it's when you've got like 10 or 20 different subscriptions, it really does add up. That's why the subscription model is such a good model.
Yeah, it really is, and so many people do forget about it. Also, that's the worst thing.
Yeah, I got one today from a company, Skewify. I signed up to them, and I'm like, I'm not using it, and that's 13 quid down the drain. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
not end
mean,
of the world. But
yeah, that's I'm literally the video that I'm planning this week to do is how much money you would need to start with all the subscriptions more than anything. Because obviously, I mean, if you can start straight away. We're talking about Amazon. How much money did you chuck into it when you started?
yeah. So quite actually, someone just asked me that today. He was like, "Oh, how much you put into it, like to make all this money?" I was like, "Well, I did start with like 30K, probably
Did
around that kind of
you?
right sort of amount of money, so a decent amount." But,
Wow.
you can start with anything really. You just
Yeah.
obviously just need to keep building it up, but obviously you can't have unrealistic
But
expectations.
Simon, did you do 30K, and was that your main income? Was
Well,
that your main
yeah,
your
although
main job? Sorry, was that your main
sure.
job, if that makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Although I've still not taken a penny out of my business yet. But yeah, I
Oh,
started with 30K, which I had, and then just put that in. So I was like, well, I just go for it, I guess. But if you want to make decent money, if you're only going to make 30% ROI, you need to be putting the money in, but not to dissuade anyone who's a beginner. You can still do it with any amount of money, but I think your strategy needs to change if you only got like 1,000 quid or something.
yeah. I
I
mean,
think thousands.
I started with 500, mate. I started with 500. That's what
Yeah,
I but it wasn't my main income. It started as a side thing. That's the thing. It's like I guess that was the question as to
yeah.
was it your main thing or not?
So yeah, I
And
did 30, but never put any more in. I don't think. But obviously, you hear people say, "I'll start with 500," but I assume you put more in over time, and you've got loans and stuff. So, and then obviously you can factor in credit cards as well. So
yeah,
to
so I
help you,
mean,
but
I've just done my corporation tax, so it's not. I guess I know exactly. I've put 15,000 as a director's loan into the business, and safe to say also for yourself too. And people thinking 30K is a lot of money. Well, that 30K you can take it out whenever you want. You know, what I mean, when the business is operational and everything, you can take that 30K out. Is this?
tax free.
Yeah, yeah, it is tax free
Because
because
it is, it's a loan. I think you can
it's
even charge the, interest to the company if you really wanted, but I never bothered with that.
I know it's just too much, but it's exactly that. So the scenarios where, so say for example, I had quite a substantial amount of money that's going back to me, a couple of grand, due to I wasn't claiming car mileage stupidly, even though I had a full log. It just I've never claimed it before, and it comes out as a big chunk, and I'm thinking, well, I don't want to hinder the business, but
Yeah.
I still don't want to pay the tax man, so I'm paying myself that money, and then of course I'm just
Yeah.
gonna stick it back into the business,
Definitely
and
claim that back. It's what, 45p a mile up to 10,000 miles.
yeah,
But you're just taking it off the tax, aren't you? I mean, you want to save every penny of tax because the government is going to come after every penny they can get. So,
yeah. But that's the
yeah, that's one of
thing.
the great things about being limited company. Well, I mean, you can do that with sole trade anyway, but like all the expenses you can take off. So I kind of wish I'd gone sole trade, no, limited company a little bit sooner, but
Did you do
yeah, all the
sole trade 85K, then go limited 85K, then VAT?
yeah,
So
I
yeah,
did, yeah, which apparently is a little bit naughty, but who knows,
hey, hey, well, hey, well,
Yeah,
um,
so I actually just did my self-assessment for my, wrap that up finally, and to be honest, I didn't make as much as I thought I did in my, once I took all my expenses off and stuff, I was like, "Oh, I didn't actually make as much as I thought." So, but when you start out, you're still learning and, you don't maximize your profits, do you? So, it's all good, it's all learning
but
experience,
it's just having your own business. I think the big one is even the fact that we can choose every day to do what we want.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
is the biggest attribute. Like I mean, I'm saying the word like. I'm gonna stop it from now on, guys. I was talking to you, Simon, wasn't it? When I listened to it back and I kept saying the word like over and over again. So
Haha.
conscious effort, conscious effort now to stop
I do the
saying
same with certain terms like and there's another one I use as well, but I can't remember what it is now.
subconscious
But
effort not to do it. And of course, I lost my train of thought now, haven't I? Well, was it money we're talking about? Um,
yeah, a sole trader, limited company. I can't remember now. God, I've
yeah,
lost it as
and
well.
and then obviously we can choose every single day what to do, really for us. And yeah, I was going to ask you what's your goal for you? What's the is there a number? Is there a quality of life? What are you doing this for? Like,
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. So Amazon, my current goal right now this year is to make £100,000 profit, but my ultimate goal is to really get to that sort of 20, 30,000 profit months. My ultimate goal is to try and make 1 million in 1 year from of everything, and that might most likely will come from a business sale. But that's something I just like to achieve for whatever reason. And yeah, I don't know. I just want to get filthy rich, basically. It's the money brings freedom. That's what it is,
yeah,
and choices. So, and to be honest, I was kind of lucky enough I could have potentially, once I quit my job, not worked ever again and lived off because I used to run an Airbnb, and that brought in enough money that I could live off it. I'd have to live very
uh-huh.
frugally, but it did bring in decent money. But I was like, I'm not going to just sit around and, I think it roughly is about 16 to 18,000 after tax. So you know, um, yeah, you can live off that, but you know, so it was 18 before tax. Sorry, 18 before tax. So you can live off that, but because obviously the 12,000 allowance, whatever you get, helps
Yeah,
massively.
yeah, of course.
But yeah, those are kind of my goals, just to build a business, I guess, and multiple businesses. I don't know, just yeah,
I mean, it's just what motivates you every day because
yeah,
clearly
absolutely,
you've not got anyone cracking the whip anymore. You've not got anyone saying to you, "Have you made those numbers? Have you made that?" Um,
yeah,
those figures. Where can you provide that report for stuff like that? I mean, the amount of things that
yeah,
I had to do as a teacher, just breaking in hives, just thinking about it. Sitting in a meeting, we're just sat in a meeting,
yeah, absolutely,
just to be sat in a meeting because it's been penciled in and it's a tick box exercise, and you have to do it because it's a tick box exercise. A proper grammar, and especially when I knew that I was making at that time more on Amazon than as a teacher. And by midday, I mean, by midday that was happening.
yeah,
Because back in the day, well, going back 2 3 years, the competition with Amazon was a lot less, and that probably you've experienced the same with yourself too.
absolutely,
So 2 3 years ago, you could buy 20, 30 units. I mean, in fact, I was doing Amazon on YouTube and showing exactly what I was buying on the same week. On the same week, I was showing
yeah,
exactly for free because
yeah.
I didn't realize that other people, I mean, stupidly or naive, um, would go and purchase the same thing. But again, I didn't have any issues. I didn't have any issues till like year two, year three, where I thought, well, every time I'm sharing something,
There was a massive surge of sellers came in. I think it came in from, and it's kind of when I came in. It was after sort of the PlayStation, Xboxes kind of all died off. Post COVID, I think people, changed people's minds about working and stuff. COVID, so
it
it
was
did
for
for me a
sure.
little bit. And then you suddenly have this big surge of Amazon sellers, and yeah, unfortunately, a lot of them don't know what they're doing, and they end up bricking the prices. And like health and beauty right now, I just think that's a dead category. It used to be everyone got into health and beauty. I avoid it like the plague. It's
It's
just
just too
such a
many
dead
people,
category.
it is a lot
Yeah,
of
it
people
is.
on it.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
you can't compete with the non-vatters who are willing to make 50p an item. Just because they're scared money. Basically, they're just trying to
yeah,
get their money back. Yeah, so it's tough, but you got to be adaptable in Amazon. So
yeah.
I was actually looking at her product today, and I was just debating with myself. I was like, should I buy this? And it's and selling it on Amazon. I probably shouldn't say what it is, but I'm going to anyway. But it's mountain bikes, and I was like,
Nah,
because no one wants to do that because they're so big and bulky. But Yeah, I was like, "Wow, could that be a good category?"
But that's what people do
You
with
know,
retro furniture, innit? On eBay,
yeah. But
people
these were
just
new
don't.
ones to be fair in the box and stuff, but, yeah. So I feel like, yeah, you need to adjust with your Amazon business over time and do the things that people don't wanna do is always a good advice I give to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your goals though with, business
I
and
I mean, my goals is completely it's very cheesy. All I want is I want a big house for my family, honestly.
yeah,
A big house for the family. So 500K house, that's the goal, 500K house. The difference between a 300 and a 500K house is massive with us. So that's the goal, 500K property and just to be able to enjoy them like working. I don't think I need more than six K profit a month. I don't think I need more than 6K per month for me and my family to live very, very comfortably. Due to the lifestyle we have. I'm not a
yeah,
person that goes out to the pub on a Friday. I don't drink, I don't smoke. Um what's my Yes, I buy a Lego, but because I've not even got time to build them. Only thing
yeah,
that happens, the price just goes up,
yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
thing. So I had a PS5 in there for what 2-3 months. I've played what maybe 2 hours. I've not. My lifestyle is all revolving around the family. So the ideal scenario is to have a business in such a way that 18, 20 years down the line, I've got the little ones taking over it.
Mm,
And I guess this is the reason as to why I am switching more to the private label side because I can say, by the way, guys, over the years, I've created this brand, and this brand, you can choose to do what you want today. Do you want a brick and mortar store? Even the responsibility with a brick and mortar store would be quite a lot because you still have to be there, or effectively, you've got a job.
yeah,
I do think if you have a little brick and mortar store in a rural area, I think it'd be quite nice. Imagine having like a little shop in a lake district and people
true.
popping in and
You
out.
kinda lose the freedom though, don't you? Like, right now,
Yeah,
if I wanna go and take a nap or whatever, or just go and do whatever, I can just do it.
yeah,
Obviously, you have that it's like people who get, like, Subway franchises, like, I hear they're terrible. You're basically just buying a job,
yeah. You're
you have
buying a
to be
job.
there. Yeah, so yeah, but
So
yeah, the private label is definitely the way to go, I think. I say I'm doing private label now, just trying to find those first products is difficult, but for me with private label though, it's all about the exit. That's what I see the advantage being. So hopefully you can build up a good brand. And I know sort of during COVID, towards the end of COVID, there were loads of companies buying up loads of private label brands. I think they've died off a little bit now. They're going to kind of get a bit crazy. But yeah, I've seen a few YouTubers that have had like 6, 7, 8 figure exits from private label brands. So, you know, we
imagine
put,
that. It's not bad
yeah.
payday, and then take that,
Getting
put
a
it into
big
properties.
eight-figure payday, instantly from all your work.
So do you see yourself in like 20, 30 years? Do you see yourself doing Amazon, or do you see yourself doing something else?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I do see myself doing Amazon, but probably not OA and all that kind of stuff, you know? It would be more the private label route, I'd imagine, but who knows?
I know it's a
Yeah,
massive like distance, like 20, 30
yeah,
years.
it's difficult
It's
to know,
it's
really.
crazy.
To be honest,
Um,
who knows if we're even working then? I do enjoy working, to be fair. So, but my original plan once I quit my job actually was just to do software because I was a software engineer. But then I kind of got dragged into the Amazon space. I still want to do software, but I just keep, right now that's a more of a long term play. Like private labels a long term play or mid to long term, I'd say. You can still make money from it, but
yeah,
ideally you're paying. It's about the exit. So like you might make £1 now on an item you sell, but if you're thinking about running a brand, you might make actually £2 on that product when you actually make the exit. That's where the money's made in most
yeah.
businesses. Is like it's the sale at the end of the day. So yeah, and then software again is like a mid long term thing. But the nice thing about doing OA and RA is you can get money right away. Like it's just quick money.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Um,
How I mean, sometimes if you get a really hot product, you can even buy it at store, come
yeah,
home, list it as MF if you
yeah,
want to be crazy. I don't know if you do MF. I hate it.
a little bit, but not much. Like at
And you
Christmas
could sell
maybe.
it. You could sell it same day. You could
Yeah,
literally sell
absolutely.
it same day for a crazy increase in price. And
Yeah, I think you
I
get faster payout as well, I think, but,
think you might be correct with that. And it's just yes, eBay is amazing for a lot of people. eBay is brilliant, but if I wanted to sell my Lego on eBay, it would take me 3, 4 times the time.
Yeah.
You know, the
That's
backlog
why
that I've
Amazon's so
got.
powerful.
Yeah, the
It's the
backlog that
sales
I've got.
volumes and the customers. It's just insane, isn't it? That's the there's no business out there where you can literally like if you sent Amazon like 100 million worth of stock and it was a fast selling items, they
It's
could clear
insane.
it for you. eBay couldn't. Um, but yeah, I saw your video about Amazon. So eBay are scrambling a little bit at the moment. Look at the fees.
Well, it's mad, isn't it? Two months. Imagine selling
Yeah,
two
I didn't
months.
get offered
Oh
that.
yeah,
But
business
businesses get
sellers, a
screwed,
business
don't
seller.
they?
No, they never get to what
Yeah,
I think you
yeah.
might get maybe once or twice a year. You get £2 fees.
Okay, I've
If
not had that
if
yet.
you ever if you do get lucky with it. Yeah. So businesses that isn't always against the business. So imagine you having your business, you've got your VAT, and you're competing with people that've got no fees for 2 months and no
Yeah,
tax because
yeah,
I mean, obviously they're trying to tax it, and I guess I mean, that's a whole different ballpark. People have stopped selling on Vinted. People have
yeah.
stopped selling it
They
for
must
sure.
have. I didn't put that link together actually, but to be honest, I kind of neglect eBay. I use it for only stuff I can't sell on Amazon that have been returned to me, like used items or brands or whatever I can't sell anymore because like it's restricted. That's pretty much generally what I use eBay for. I just don't see it as my main sales
It's good to have though, isn't
channel.
it? It's good to have an account that's
Yeah,
got 100, 200 feedback because you can save stock. You can save stock that you couldn't sell on Amazon simply for X,
yeah,
Y reason, or your returns. Prime
yeah,
example with it, but for sure, people have stopped selling, and every single time I get the same comments of, "Will I be taxed for my secondhand goods?" No, you're not going to get taxed for secondhand
no,
goods. It's they're literally stopping people who, let's say, for example, buying the Pikachu Pokemon card with the Van Gogh Pokemon card, buying it for free and selling it for 200, 300. That's the people that they want. Um,
yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert on tax or accountancy, but it basically comes down, as far as I'm aware, as like, what was your intention when you bought it in the first place? Did you intend to buy and resell it? Then, if you did, then you got to pay tax. Although you get like 1,000 threshold anyway, so
yeah, and then
those
you've
little
got
like cottage
and there's
industries.
another threshold of like 6,000. There's another threshold of 6,000 where
Yeah,
you can be making you don't. But again, if anyone wants to be making a decision, making a business, they get an accountant and they don't speak to me and you because we're not
yeah,
accountants.
exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
definitely not.
yeah, but
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to be an accountant.
oh, no, I did 2 degrees and I've done 2 modules of accounting, and to me it seemed like you just put left and right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I did it in Greek though, so maybe things have
Okay,
changed. Yeah.
interesting. But no, it's interesting that yeah, everyone's like abandoning eBay, I guess. But I've seen people who make good money on eBay, but it's just a different business model. It seems like it's very similar, but I think it's a very different business model on there
I think they're even
to
harder
do it at
workers.
scale.
I think eBay sellers are
Oh
harder
yeah,
workers than Amazon
absolutely.
sellers.
That's what the advantage with Amazon, and the reason that it appealed to me is that I wouldn't have to send the items like in individually, like to customers. Like I don't know how many items I've sold today, but some days I sell 300, 400 items. Mainly around Christmas. Could you imagine trying to pack all those yourself? You have to get employees, and
Absolutely insane.
just having the boxes in the packing materials, and it'd be a freaking nightmare.
Plus the listing which is three
Oh
clicks,
yeah,
the listing which is 3 clicks, maybe five if you put your repricer on too. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, Compared to eBay where find the EAN number, find the pictures, find the images, write a description.
yeah. It's
And
That's why I've
plus,
got a big pile up of used items that I just can't be bothered to because it's such an effort. So as much as I try as much as possible to send my used items back to Amazon as like graded, like warehouse used or
yeah.
whatever, good is good, new like new. But yeah, sometimes it has to go on eBay, and well, I've just not done it for ages because I've got better things to do with my time. To be honest, so, I've
Well,
got a big part. This you got a big pile of money sitting around doing nothing, but yeah, at some point I'll have to do it basically.
I do, and that's the thing is with eBay's, you can list 20 items on one day and sell
Yeah,
nothing, but if you're listing three a day, you'll sell it just prefers for people to be interacting with the platform daily. Are
yeah,
you replying to customers? Are you sending offers daily? That's what eBay seems to like.
yeah,
I've noticed that the last couple of weeks where I've been uploading more eBay products or trying to clear out. I've been quite terrible in clearing out starting auctions at 99p. I've just wanted the items out the garage
Yeah,
because it just wasn't worth having in here. Space is so important for me to be able to move around. Like the, um, the 3 square meters that I've got here for my YouTube, that's all I get. The rest of it
yeah,
is stock and making sure it is created in such a way that I can maximize me packing stuff if I wanted to do OA for us. And it's this it's such a nice influx of money if you do get the OA and RA deals working for you. And I guess I mean I've got the best of both worlds. I can do the OA and RA. I know how to do it, but I also am doing the private label. The capital seems to be a lot better for myself and the revenue where I can make the purchase now from China, the 6,000 purchase, and wait for 2 months before I receive it. But last year, I had a problem with the Amazon loan where I was struggling because Amazon was taking 3,000 revenue each month, so I could pay it
yeah.
off. So yes, of course, it would have been an amazing idea for me to get the 33K, I think it was, and do the OARA. But stupidly, I decided to change my model and took that money. So I was just
Yeah.
working, trying to make sure that that revenue get paid off. I mean,
I think that yeah.
go for it.
I
Sorry.
say I think the best strategy is just to if you're gonna transition over, do it slowly. You know, private label again is slower money, takes longer, but you know, just continue doing OA, RA, and just scale it down over time. But the good thing is you can dive in. You see a great deal pop up. There's nothing stopping you doing it. You know, you can dive in and buy it.
It's exactly that.
Um,
Do you utilize? I imagine you must be doing like you're doing it. So do you utilize credit cards, don't you, to yourself or
oh
Amazon?
yeah, I use Amex. Yeah, just for the points, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a no brainer to be honest. I don't need to use them, but I do use them because of the
Yeah.
points. It's basically trying to grab every single bit of profit I can.
And do
But
you
yeah, and then
calculate that on your ROI or not? The
no,
point.
no,
Do you calculate cashback on your ROI?
no,
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 perfect. I'm exactly the
no,
same way. I'm exactly
unless which I've never done, but I know some people do buy items to break even on them on Amazon, but then the profit comes from the cashback, which is a little bit risky as far as I'm concerned because the cashback doesn't come in, then you wasted your time. But I know some people have done that and actually made pretty good money from doing that, like 2-3 thousand a month from getting a cashback, which is insane. It's a different kind of business model, but it's a little bit risky. But yeah, I don't really
no.
do that to be honest. And I'd say it's a lot of Holland and Barrett deals that end up bricking. You can buy a lot of that stuff in bulk. You know, you can get they do insane cashback offers
They do, to be
and you
fair.
basically just try and sell it at break even. Well, essentially, what you're doing is you're like selling it the first units for a profit and basically letting the repricer go down to zero and just selling down in as the price drops, and then so you might get some good profit on some of them, but generally looking to make £0, 0 pence.
Well,
But
you've got
it's
like
the
33% cashback, haven't you? Something silly like that sometimes.
yeah, exactly.
I think it
So
was.
unless they decline it, in which case you're stuffed.
Well, I
Um,
mean, top cashback in Quidco has been okay for me, but
yeah,
complete savings, the best one has been the worst one, if that makes sense. Because I've
yeah,
had 2 accounts with them, and if they say to you, "By the way, we're closing your account," they just keep all your money,
yeah.
and they keep quite a lot, 400 quid. I think they've had both times off me. Um,
Yeah, complete savings. I had an account, and then I think I had like 150, £200 in that. I'd never been paid out, and then they asked me for a bunch of invoices or something. I can't remember now. And I sent them, and they're like, "Oh no, that doesn't match your name." And then I don't know, they just closed it, kept my
yeah,
money. So I just stick to Top Cashback now. They're reliable. You could probably get a bit more if you shopped between Quidco and Top Cashback, and then what was it the other one? But I just stick with Top Cashback, and it's fine. But yeah, it's an interesting business model. People doing that. But yeah, that's a different way to go
I
about
didn't
it.
realize they were doing as the business model like that and getting
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
two, three
Because you can
k.
get Holland and Barrett don't. Well, it's a good example. They don't care about order volumes, so you can order as much as you want. They've always got some great offers on, or they do these like every 3 months or so. These amazing offers, and yeah, they pay good cash back as well. So I know someone who's done it, like made 2-3 thousand a month off cash back. So pretty good. But
Wow.
but you probably is not enough margin in there to use a prep center. You probably have to do it yourself. you start paying a prep center 80p an item, you're probably losing your money, not making money on it. So you probably have to prep it yourself.
It's
But
mad,
yeah,
isn't it? Prep center
I just
fees
think
are just
like
insane.
a lot of Amazon, I think it's just yeah, it is. It's just think outside the box a little bit more. Like you can't just go in and buy something for RRP and then sell it on Amazon. Like that just doesn't really work. You've got to be thrifty basically and think about like different ways to do the business.
Definitely.
Um, it's yeah, the more outside the box you can think, I think the better you'll do on Amazon. So yeah, it's kind of an
Yeah.
interesting one.
And you
But
niche down, don't you? I think, I mean, for me, I've just niched down massively
yeah,
from when I first started. I find myself even going, if I was to do any RA again, I would find myself in the same aisles because I know what I'm doing. Um, I see the same products day in and day out, and I don't need to scan it. I don't need to check it. I know each day what I'm doing, if that makes sense. And yes, potentially I might be losing on money because I'm not switching into another niche, but I'm saving on time, and
sure,
for me,
yeah,
massively,
absolutely.
time is a massive,
Depends if
massive
you're
factor.
if you're hitting what you want to make 5 6 grand a month, you're not looking for this 20 grand a month, and it's all good, isn't it? But yeah, obviously if you want to expand, grow the business, then you need to be looking at those other things. But yeah, niching down, then the sales cycles, the prices, the brands. That's what you get from niching down, and then you learn the sites, what when they're doing their offers. But yeah, everyone when they first start out just does everything, which is fine.
Yeah.
Amazon to Amazon kind of thing. That's how I started out. I was making 2,000 quid a month from Amazon to Amazon alone, just like so
Yeah.
easy. You
But it was
know,
so good, wasn't it? For it
it
was
was when I
so
was in
good for
the
a long
and now
period
it's
of time.
so dry. Like it's so dry right now, but it will probably pick back up. But yeah, I jumped when I first got into it. I think like 3 or 4 weeks after I started. It was Prime Day, and it was probably one of the best Prime days ever. And I spent about I don't know 20 30 grand.
So you
But
went deep, didn't you? So you put your 20-30K in straight away.
yeah, because I had on a lot of Tommy Tippy bottles. I've spent a fortune on those, loads of Bosch tool stuff, and I guess it worked out for me. I wasn't able to sell most of it because I was such a new seller. Even though Amazon made me jump through like the Tommy Tippy ungate and then the baby ungate, when I'd done all that, they were like, "No, you can't sell it," and I was like, "What?" So it was all sat in my apartment. And eventually, after a month or so, they said, "Yeah, you can sell it." And the good thing about that is all the brickers are kind of gone.
Yeah.
So just by luck, and I guess next point is like I think the best way to do Amazon is to like run 3 months like ahead, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you buy stock now, expect to probably send it in and sell it in 3 months if you can. I send it in now, prepared to pay storage fees, but look to sell it in 3 months. And if you can do that, I think that already helps like massively on the ROIs. But yeah, and like Lego's a great another one, which is a similar business model, but you probably have to wait more than 3 months.
Yeah.
But
Unless you
yeah, I
get it
know.
in October. It's-
So
unless you can get some in October, I reckon you can get some in October
yeah,
and sell by January. Obviously,
yeah,
you're not going to get your 60% ROI, but you can get your 30-40 quite
yeah, you can
easily.
do. Yeah, and
With
then
the
obviously if you wait until it retires, you can get even more. So it's like an interesting business model of like you want to probably do a mixture of both, like sell some through and keep
it's
other,
just
keep some.
space, isn't
It
it?
is
It's
space, but yeah. But there's a guy in another group that I'm in, and he is getting pallets of Legos delivered, and I've seen his numbers. And I think what he does, and he says he runs 6 months in advance, but he just basically is just buying crap loads of Lego and just storing it and wait till it retires. And then, once you've gone through that initial pain period of like 6 months to a year where you're waiting for stuff to retire, then it should just be a continuous like ordering and sending in. As sets are retired, the price goes up, you can send them in, but you ordered new ones and then you hold on to those. Obviously, it requires a lot of space, a lot of capital, but that's another good business model. And it's Lego, so you're never going to go wrong on Amazon.
you really
And then
cannot,
when
can you? You
and then
really
when
cannot.
Q4 comes around, you're going to be able enough to buy like a nice car, basically, from all your
That's
Lego
having it.
profits.
It's
So yeah,
it's having the
another.
room, isn't it? It's just having the room for that Lego because you
Mm,
can have in a damp room. I mean, I'm lucky. Yes, I've got the garage, but I still need to come in the garage every day to
yeah,
make sure that I've got the heating on for a bit. Because otherwise, just it'll be damp. And
yeah,
the last thing you want is somebody's paying 200 quid for a Carnage helmet that was worth 40.
yeah,
And by the way, it's water damage, so you're getting the
yeah,
return.
yeah.
Because
So that's the tricky thing with Lego. It's not designed to be stored. and collected really. And they make these really nice helmets that you've got in the background, these fancy black boxes. Well, they're even harder to keep pristine because the black doesn't like shows up all the
Yeah.
marks. So and the little scuffs, they really show up on black. So Lego is a tricky one, but if you can crack it and you've got the storage, but then you start paying storage like a storage locker, and then suddenly you're paying £200-300 a month. You need a lot of Lego in there, appreciating in value to cover your costs. So it's kind of a difficult one, but you kind of need a lot of money to do that business model. But if you can crack it and you can somehow figure out where to order pallets of Lego from, which I still to this day don't know, if you know how to do that, reach out to me. I'll pay you. um, but yeah, it's interesting there. But yeah, there's like so many ways to do Amazon, isn't there? Really, it's interesting.
And it's just weird is because obviously myself and yourself know how much money you can make for it, how
Mhm.
there's no ceiling whatsoever, but you still get people thinking, "Oh, Amazon is dead. Amazon's dead."
Yeah. But people
Apologies.
were saying that 5 years ago. They were saying it 10 years ago. They were saying it 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and they're gonna say it in 2, 4 years, whatever, I don't it's never gonna die really unless Amazon cut off all third-party sellers, which I don't think they're ever gonna do. They are getting stricter,
Yeah.
on people, which is a good thing because it keeps people out, I think anyway. Makes it harder for new people to come in, but that's because like they're worried about fake items and bad sellers and stuff. So,
It's
but
like
yeah, it's not
what
too late. It just
happened.
gets harder.
Yeah. It's what happened, what, 2, 3 weeks ago where they stopped all the VAT information. There's gonna be a lot of Chinese sellers that are not gonna be able to prove that they're UK residents, or have a company here, so we should have less competition for private label
Yeah,
products. That's what I expect to happen, but, I mean, there's a way to do it. It's there's a lot of businesses that would have struggled this month. There's a lot of businesses would have struggled.
yeah. Well, there's
Uh
that like payment holdouts.
It's
Yeah,
it's the only
so
time that I've been to check the Amazon forums. Usually, I'm thinking, "What a
yeah.
waste of time it is,"
Oh,
but
they are terrible.
yeah,
Honestly, I do like to read them every now and then just for a bit of
it's just it's a
laugh.
win
But
and people just wins. That's all it
yeah,
is.
pretty much.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's
People
because
just win.
Amazon's a frustrating business model. Because Amazon is like, and they're one of the worst companies to deal with, but there's so much money to be made. You kind of put up with it, but they are useless. Honestly,
Oh,
yeah, the amount of yeah, I'm not going to go into it to be honest, but
no.
yeah, it's one of the things. If you're going to get into Amazon, understand that Amazon are just a crap when it comes to
Yeah.
customer support. You are literally going to someone in a third world country. No offense to them, who probably can barely read English, and they're dealing with your problems. And someone told me that like what was it for an ungate? They like spend 10 seconds. That's their like allotment of time. And I think I heard somewhere 2 minutes for account terminations. So like 2 minutes for someone to basically figure out whether you're going to get a termination appealed or not. It's kind of crazy to think about, isn't it? Now I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. So
They used to be a lot
it's yeah,
ruthless, though. They used to be 2, 3 years ago, they used to be ruthless with
yeah,
terminations. Now you get 4, 5, 6 chances, but 2, 3 years
yeah.
ago, it was you sold one fake good, off you go, see you in a
Yeah,
bit. You got one A to Z claim, see you in a bit,
yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. So well, I think they realize you can't just boot people off like one small thing because that's going to happen. Like, and then also it's open to abuse as well. Like your competitors will go and buy your product, say yeah, it's fake, just to get you off the listing. I don't know if you still get it, like where people try and buy all your inventory and hold it for. It's
Oh,
such a pathetic
it used to
strategy.
be annoying, didn't it? Buy with
Yeah,
a locked
it's
credit
just
card, wasn't it? That's what they do, they buy with a locked credit card,
yeah,
so,
or
oh,
one with no balance or something. It's just such a pathetic strategy. I had someone do that to me recently on some printers. I was just like, "What's the point?" I was like, "Fine, whatever."
what, 3 weeks or
Um,
something? 3 weeks, keeping it for 3 weeks?
yeah, I think Amazon have caught onto a little bit and they're canceling them now. But yeah, I don't know. It's just pathetic strategy. It's like, what are you honestly planning on? It just doesn't work. Yeah.
They were
So
doing it, there was a lot of people doing it, there were a lot of
there
people
were
doing it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just trying to get rid of the competition. It's just such a silly strategy, really. It's going to give you such marginal gains. You might get your sales first, or it just
Well,
but
imagine thinking your strategy to sell something is gonna be,
yeah,
"I am just going to hinder everyone else." Imagine that
yeah,
being your business, "I'm just gonna hinder
mhm,
everyone else
exactly.
so I can get what I want.
Yeah,
I." It's just horrendous. What a strategy to
yeah. It
have.
just shows you're not going to achieve anything in business. You might make some quick money, but Amazon is not a quick money business. Like you can get something and sell it on eBay and makes a bit of quick money and stuff, and like the PlayStations, Xboxes when they were around, a bit of quick money. But Amazon's not a quick money business really in terms of like that. It's a proper business. You need to take it
Yeah,
seriously. Start abusing it, Amazon will ban you, and they'll ban you for
yeah.
life if you're not
And I
careful.
think that's what it is. It's definitely a lot of people that are selling on Amazon and selling on Amazon full time, and people still
Yeah,
thinking, "What are they doing? Is that a business kind of thing?" If you
yeah,
talk to your family and say what you do is, I mean, often I just joke about and just say I sell barbings for a living, kind of thing. It's because
yeah.
how are you trying to explain it, or how are you going to explain to someone that, by the way, I've been able to get a trademark and now sell my own branded goods. Um, it's just not
Yeah.
worth it. I don't know. How do you do it when someone asks you, "What do you do for a job?" Or have you just surrounded
I
yourself with
just
just
say I'm an
Amazon
Amazon
folks?
seller, and I don't know really. Just yeah, people just I don't know. I've not really had any major issues with people
Because delivery
not
drivers must ask
understanding it.
you, "What do you do?" Because if you're constantly at home and you're receiving items, you're thinking, "What the
Yeah,
heck's happening?" kind
I
of
just
thing.
tell them to be honest. But one of my every driver, he was quite nosy. He was like, "Oh, you're only paying 40 quid for these." I was like, "How do you know that? You looked at the invoice, like."
No way!
Yeah, he must have looked at an invoice for something. Like,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? What a
So a bit
guy.
naughty. But, yeah, and then yesterday I picked up some stuff in Tesco's, and the lady who was stocking there, it was some Hot Wheels stuff, some Hot Wheels tracks, £3.60, go to Sainsbury's. Um, and yeah, the lady was like, "Oh, I wanted one of those for my grandson." And she's like, "Oh, what are you doing with all these?" I was like, "Oh, I'm selling them on Amazon." And I don't know if she was joking or she was like, "Oh, no, you're not allowed to do that. I might get security." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." But yeah, I just tell people I sell on Amazon. If they decide to take those Hot Wheels away from me, I'm not gonna cry over it. I've maybe lost 40 quid of profit,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not gonna kick up a fuss over 40 quid, but
Or you could potentially get a relationship with the manager or
yeah.
guest. So, I mean, the regional North manager, he's a very, very nice guy, and it's funny how on Tuesday I'll visit my mum and I'll be in Middlebrook store, and then I'll see him at the Preston store. And I was like, "All right, you're coming here too." Kind of, it's nice to know they know
Yeah.
what you're doing. There's no point in lying. I don't think there's any point
No,
in lying, as you
and
said. What's
yeah, you do run into some people who are very sour in life, and they'll not like what you're doing. It's all good, just move on. Don't let them
mm,
affect you really. So, but yeah, and also just be like, I always let people, the staff members take whatever they want as well. So, like this lady was saying, "Oh, I want one for my grandson." I was like, "Yeah, go for it." I'm only going to lose like £4 profit off this. I'm not
mm.
going to cry over that. Take it, keep them a little bit sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't hoard everything.
It's nice
But
then when you're getting the whole self, it's quite nice. When you're leaving with
yeah,
the whole self, you're thinking, "Oh yeah, I've done something." And I guess that's the fix of doing RA, isn't it? How
yeah,
you can see what you're doing at that moment in time. With us, I mean, going back to delivery guys, for me is when I've got my UPS guy who's amazing and just picks up my stuff. It's just absolutely brilliant every time. Sometimes I
yeah.
can see and I'm like, well, someone else is doing Amazon and he's got 18 boxes in there and he's got like, "Hey,
Yeah,
what's he doing?" Kind of thing. So I'm trying to ask. And he said he was selling bird seeds. He says
okay.
he was selling bird seeds about 100, 200 a month kind of thing. I was like, all right.
It just
So
shows you can sell anything on
yeah,
Amazon.
it,
Like, just look
it's
around your home and see what you've got, like a door handle or a light fitting or whatever, and you can
it's
buy that on Amazon. And someone needs to sell it. It's not always Amazon.
yeah,
So when people say, "Oh, what do you sell other than health and beauty?" I'm like, anything
yeah.
in the world, basically. If you can find it and sell it for one price, buy it for one price, sell it for another, then yeah. But yeah, I'd never think of doing that. But he's obviously going down to the garden centre or something or whatever, and
Well, maybe he's
just
doing
buying
PL.
this.
Maybe he's doing it PL's
Yeah, he could be.
spreadsheets
Yeah.
PL. I'm just
So
I was like, what's he got there? Because it's always
yeah, it'd be
exciting.
interesting
Like
to
it's
open
nice
it.
to know that someone else in the area is doing Amazon. Because
Yeah,
I don't know, it's weird because you're doing the same thing. It's like saying you've got two accountants, they're doing the same job.
yeah.
It just feels nice
It
knowing
is
that someone's
intriguing. I'd love to know like how they're doing it and
and
stuff. Not that
and
I want to copy them. I'm just intrigued by the whole business
and I
model.
and I think
How?
you've got the same attitude with me. It's just when you see someone who's doing better,
Yeah,
you're not jealous. You're thinking, "I want that. I need to be
yeah,
doing more," kind of thing. And
yeah.
that's the attitude that more people should have. There's so many
Absolutely.
people that are green with envy in regards
Yeah,
to what people doing with anything. It's
yeah,
kind of mad.
Yeah.
for
I
us.
mean, I'll
That
be honest, I do envy people who do better than me, but I don't let it like I'm like use that to drive me, But I'm not like green with envy. I'm like, oh, I wish I was making that much, but I'm not gonna go and cry over it and sulk, But I use
yeah.
it to motivate me. Yeah, which
But
is
you
a
also
good thing, I
understand
think.
the graft that they're going through, innit? You understand how much graft they
Yeah.
put in it.
Absolutely,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
uh,
It's like what's that saying from Tiger Woods or something? I can't remember what it was now. Oh, I can't remember what it is. Like he put in 20 years worth of effort and then people are saying like, "Oh, how are you like an overnight success?" Whatever it is. It's like, well, yeah, I put in 20 fucking years from like the age of 6. That's how I'm an overnight
yeah.
success. And it's the same with anything in Amazon, when any kind of business really. And this is like crypto where you can just make money overnight, but this just doesn't happen. NFTs, I
Yeah.
guess. Every now and then, when these things comes along where you can just print money, but
It really was silly money. It really
um
was silly money,
I don't
that.
know well, no one obviously knows what the next thing will be. Whether I'll be even aware of it, I don't know. That's the thing, is trying to be aware of this thing when
Well,
it
it's
comes
all AI,
around.
isn't it? But I don't think we're gonna make any money from AI ourselves. I don't think I will. You might do because
Yeah.
you're into doing that, but I don't think I'll be
Kind
able.
of, yeah. I don't really know anything about AI too much, to be honest. I use it for my YouTube videos to split up my videos to make shorts, but I'm more of a consumer of AI than actually someone who actually makes stuff with AI. But
I
yeah, that's
use
a
yeah.
big thing for the future. Obviously, AI
Right. What do
and
you
machine
think?
learning.
Get your crystal ball out. What do you think is going to be this year's Amazon hot item? So we've had chimeneas, we've had hot tubs. Um, we had electric heaters, didn't we? Back when energy was
Yeah.
a significant. What
And then
what could
obviously air fryers were massive as well.
air fries were massive. Swimming pools
It's
during lockdown.
yeah,
Uh,
it's
that's what I keep thinking.
difficult.
I keep thinking, what could be the next thing? I mean, humidifiers. If you've got PL dehumidifier at the moment in time, I think that'll be doing really well for you,
Mm.
because dehumidifiers are everywhere. Just what could be the next thing?
Yeah,
That's
I've actually got no idea. I probably should be thinking more about this kind of thing, but it's very hard to guess. Obviously, like toy manufacturers try and guess these
and
things every
jump in
year,
it and
and
jump into it too early. You've got to jump into it early, haven't you? With air
yeah,
fryers, you had to jump it early because initially, I mean, then
or just be aware, and then once you realize the opportunity, you got to go really deep on it. Like there's a guy who owns one of the other groups. Like he was doing air fryers to an insane degree. When I was passing up on air fryers, I didn't realize the opportunity. And this guy was selling like 100 a day or whatever it was. Making £100 profit. Just crazy.
well, I don't know if you
Uh,
remember on RC days when I was in RC myself. Is it Connor? Connor that was
yeah,
going
I think so.
driving around Scotland getting printers and
Yeah,
selling crazy amount of printers during
yeah.
lockdown.
Again,
He
I
was
kind of avoided those because they're a bit big and bulky, and I was too
same
new.
here. It's a silly me. Like I think I might have sold maybe 40, 50, but he was selling 40, 50 per day. He was buying it
Yeah,
off members on Discord and
yeah,
getting members to send it to customers, and he was still making a profit. It was insane. But he went. I mean, he was driving all over Scotland with. And again, he's someone who's gone to the next degree and now he's got his own prep center, I believe too.
crazy.
He's just escalated it to the next kind of level.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, trying to think. I've got no idea really, but these things just come out of nowhere, don't they? I'm trying to think if there's any big events coming up or anything like that, but it's so hard to know. Like one of the hottest toys this Christmas was that football thing. I don't know if you ever tried to get any of those, or it was like a robotic football that you put on your floor and it
the
would move
floating one.
around.
No way.
No, it was on wheels, I think. Do you not see this one?
No,
It sold out on Argos. It was like 50 quid, and then I think they were peaking at like 250.
no way. No, I didn't
Yeah.
see it. Didn't see it at all.
It's like a little robotic football, like robot thing, and you're meant to, and it tries to tackle a football off you. So you're like dribbling it,
Wow.
inside, and it will try and tackle. I mean, I've not actually seen one, but like in person, but that's what it kind of my understanding what it did.
Wow.
So I can probably look it up, but yeah, that was pretty hot. And then Furbies were hot as well. Again, they came back round like
Oh
20
dear.
years ago. you know,
I remember my
um,
friends getting a Furby at primary school and being the happiest people ever, kind of
yeah.
thing.
Could you
Dear
imagine being
me.
someone who works for a toy manufacturer there? They're like, it's definitely going to be this toy this year, and then it's some random whatever it is. It must be it's so frustrating because they
Oh,
just don't know. And then obviously once they know, it's too late because they can't get it manufactured in time. Yeah. So
it's
it's
like
kind
I think it was 2, 3 years ago where advent calendars were ridiculously like they were selling like mad. Lego
Yeah,
advent calendars, and then last year and the year before, you couldn't sell them. You just couldn't
yeah,
sell them. But the year
yeah. That's
before,
true.
I
Yeah.
think you could buy Lego ones for 25 and sell them for 50. 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. But then obviously, yeah, the next year everyone tried to get in on it, and obviously they overproduced them, and they just weren't worth anything.
yeah,
So you're getting in too late there. Really, it's yeah, it's kind of interesting. Easter eggs. That's something I'm looking at right now. That's getting a little
I
bit
think
late, but
I know, but we could do. You could do FBM, and the fact that we're before April, so you could sell them.
yeah,
I mean, I'm tempted. I've got quite a big sweet wholesaler and chocolate wholesaler 3 miles from where I live. I could walk.
mm,
I could drive to it and have a look what they've got. I'm
yeah,
tempted to do
absolutely.
a few chocolate bundles and
Sure.
try that side because
Do it under
another
your own brand if you can. You know,
exact.
I've been doing some research on Easter eggs, and some people are being really naughty with their bundles. They're putting it under their own brand, and they're doing like an Easter egg and an Easter card, like "Happy Easter," just so no one else can jump on that listing. And I'm like that. I feel like that's bending the rules a little bit, but it is a unique bundle, I guess. But yeah,
I'll have the exact cardboard box. Maybe that looks like the brand.
yeah.
Um,
So I guess it is allowed. It's like a unique bundle, but it's just like the laziest form of unique bundle, if that makes sense. So,
People make money
but
on them though, Simon. People do make
oh
money on
yeah,
bundles.
yeah, absolutely. There is a whole community out there called the Hive, I think it is. So they're getting a free plug here,
No way.
which basically has an entire course and courses on how to do bundles and the different levels of bundles you can do. So yeah, and the lazy, I think it's like level one, two, three, to five, 1 to 5, and like level one is like just take two items and bundle them together, like shampoo, conditioner, like the most basic thing you can do, up to like level 5, which is like just an edge before private label, where you're maybe using some branded items and you get a nice box from China and a few other bits and bobs, you know, and put them together. I mean, you could probably do like a unique bundle with your like private label brands. So, you know,
And you had
I'll
the
send
naughty,
you one
haven't you?
afterwards.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm not obviously going to say what it is and
yeah.
stuff, but I'll send you a link actually of a fantastic brand that does similar-ish things to you afterwards, and you can have a look at it and see what they do. But yeah, there's a whole community out there, and I was in it for a little while. I watched the videos, I've just not had a chance to implement it yet. But bundles is another, again. It's just going that next step, like versus everyone else.
And people could be naughty with bundles. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you've heard how they could put one zero VAT product in the whole bundle.
Oh
Then,
yeah,
yeah, some people are being very, very
I
naughty
have
with
heard
that.
about that.
And
Yeah,
suddenly the
I,
whole bundle is now worth zero. So not only you can claim the VAT from the products you're selling, you've bought, you say you get no VAT to pay because you put the whole bundle as zero VAT rated. That's what I've heard naughty people doing.
yeah. So I've just sent you a link now. I don't know if you can see it,
Yeah.
but yeah, you can see what they're gonna do. But yeah, you could probably do something similar. But yeah, bundles is another way that you could do things. You know, yeah, there's multiple ways to make money on Amazon. Yeah,
There
but
really
yeah,
is.
one thing, yeah,
You've got to start it. If you're thinking I'm on the fence, you've got to start to get your free box from somewhere. You know what I mean? Get a scanning app and just
yeah,
go for it. And that's the initial goal. Plus the 25 quid fee that you pay for a professional account because you're going to be selling more than 30 items. You just go it. You tell me a better way to spend 500-600 quid than doing Amazon. It's insane. Like I don't think there's a
yeah,
better way of spending 500-600 quid. Spend a couple of hours watching on YouTube or book a session with someone that you've been seeing on
yeah,
YouTube and they can just give you all the information one to one. This is me. Like
absolutely,
that's why I spend so much money with Ben because I thought, well, he knows what he's doing. He's going to save me time, and he's going to be answering the
yeah.
questions that I want. One, two, three, instead of me spending hours on end. And people do forget that time is as valuable as money.
Yeah. It depends,
Mass
obviously, where you are in your life. Like, obviously, as you get older, you are more willing to spend money, and especially if you've got money, to save time. But obviously, when you're like an 18-year-old, you'll go out your way, spend like 3 hours trying to save a couple of quid or whatever. You know,
But it's sad.
obviously,
I don't think
everyone's
it's
in the
many 18-year-olds though, Simon, thinking that way.
probably not. No,
They're probably
but I
thinking their
remember being
parents.
really thrifty when I was younger.
I
You know?
wish. Oh,
But yeah, it's interesting, really.
Sam and I
But
used to work at Sports Direct, get paid £5 an hour, and during my lunch break, go to Subway and spend that £5.
no, it was pretty
Stupid,
good to be honest. But yeah.
stupid, man. Oh.
Oh
Speaking of
dear.
thrifting, what was the first thing you sold at Amazon? Because I know exactly what is. What's the first thing I sold on
Oh, I can
Amazon?
probably have a look now actually, because I know July 6th, 2022 was my very first sale, so I can have a look. But yeah, while I'm looking at that, I'll tell you, I actually managed to find a bundle like super early on. I don't know why I didn't go bigger on it, but it was a Pantene shampoo and conditioner. I was like, oh, you can buy these for like £1.50 each. So £3, and the bundle was selling for like 12, £13 or something like that. So I was like, I don't know what I've got some from Morrison's or Asda, wherever it was from. Got them delivered, and I made 10 bundles, but never like did any more. It was just I don't know why, just so crazy.
Why are you
Let me have a
finding
look.
it? Mine was the only DVD that I've ever sold on Amazon.
Mm,
I take that DVD that I found from a charity shop, a brand new DVD, and
okay,
then since then I've not been able to sell DVDs. I've not even
okay,
ungated to sell
yeah.
DVDs.
No, me neither actually. But there's
So
another one. A lot of these groups out there, and people avoid DVDs. There's probably money to be made there. But yeah, a hose lock timer. If you
hey,
remember
that's a
those from
good
Amazon,
item. That is a good item.
yeah,
That is sold. You
yeah.
probably bought that, if I remember correctly, 15 quid and sold it for 60.
Yeah, although I didn't because I was very new and sold it for 44. But still, I was making,
Well,
£11
15 to
profit.
45.
So
Yeah. No.
yeah, absolutely. And I got a decent number of them as well. So that was my first sort of Amazon to Amazon flip.
What a good item. That's a good
Um,
item.
they were good. Yeah, they were really good actually. So yeah, and pretty much just those. And then what else was there? Oh, a few plugs and stuff. But yeah, hose locks. They were really good.
And
Um,
again, that was a really good summer, wasn't it? 2 years ago with
yeah,
Hoslock stuff was amazing. You could sell
yeah,
anything Hoslock related was insane. And
yeah.
now, I mean, you can sell. I mean, if you buy early on Hoslock products on a decent price, you can still sell them. But
It's a
you,
seasonal item. I'm sure they go on sale. As winter rolls around, if you can hold on to them till summer,
Mhm.
there's loads of different seasonal items you can buy. All the supermarkets and stuff sell for cheap, and then you hold on to them. And then if you got the storage space,
If
and
you have
then
space, that's the thing. If you got space, you could have the four corners of your warehouse just
yeah,
saying, "Well, I'm buying that. It's staying there," and then you go into rotation. You go into rotation over and over
yeah,
again.
exactly. Just
Um,
suck up the cost, £600 a month, whatever it cost you, like a unit or whatever, and then
I wish it
yeah,
was just
because
600 quid. It's just so expensive to get a unit.
yeah,
It's
well, no,
pricey.
I've got a storage unit, so obviously you don't have to pay business rates or anything like that. But obviously, it's not a proper warehouse. Yeah, a proper warehouse is very expensive,
So
so
what would
I'm
you
not
have?
quite there.
How much space is your unit? You would say
80 square foot, which is like a shed, you know,
80 square
and
foot. It's not bad, mate.
it's not bad. And it cost me 210 a month or something. I think something around there.
80 square foot.
Yeah, we'll have a look. There's loads of storage places around there. But yeah,
I'm tight
there's
though. I'm tight.
yeah. Well, I was as well, but I kind of really needed to
Yeah.
uh, eventually get
I said to my
storage
mum
place.
because obviously I wanted to get a unit, and I went to my mum and said, "Oh, it's going to look about 1,000, 1,200." She says, "Well, my garage is empty." I was like, "Is it now?" so,
Yeah, she
I've
was
got
expecting
some.
£1,100 or so.
No, I know, right?
Yeah,
Oh, family
yeah,
rates too, so I couldn't say no to the family rates and just have the
yeah.
items there. So that's
But
been
yeah,
a
if you're gonna
massive,
pay
massive
for
help.
storage, it's expensive. Obviously, if you can use your parents' garage and stuff, that's fine. But yeah, when you actually have to pay for it, and yeah, I was reluctant to take it on, but I just had to at some point. But my plan was to get all my deliveries done there. Have them put them in the locker, and then also have my like UPS collections from there. And then people were like, "No, no, you're gonna get robbed, like inside jobs."
Oh yeah, you got scared, didn't you? Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm not letting anyone in my locker, basically. So while it's a bit more work for me, it feels more secure because I don't have anyone going in going, oh, look at all this stock this person's got, and then telling their mates about this amazing locker they can go and rob, and make like 30, 50 grand off the stock or whatever, or probably sell it for 5 grand, down the pub or whatever. But yeah, so that kind of didn't work out exactly as I expected, but it's still good to have to store items. So and I'm happy to pay £200 a month. It's not too bad. And I've been very tempted to go for a bigger one, but it's like that creep. It's like I didn't want to pay £200 initially, and then I was like, suddenly I was paying for a £600 unit. Before I was like, actually, no, I'm
But I
not going to
guess,
take that.
I mean, if I don't know if you think the same mentality with me. This is why you're doing the YouTube thing too. So I guess if
Yeah.
YouTube gets bigger, maybe the income from that could go towards that's the way I use
Yeah,
YouTube and the affiliate income. I just use it to grow the business further and further on for myself
absolutely.
and just add it. I mean, I guess the next step would be have a place where I could have more stuff. I could have more like I mean, I've got PL stuff and I could have got £3 knocked off the price per item if I ordered 1,000 units compared
I see.
to 300-400, and I just don't have the space.
So
And
that's
I'm
another
not
great thing about private label is you can obviously you might not be able to increase your sale price on Amazon, but you can get your cost price down by ordering more. So once you've
massively.
established your brand and your item and you know that it's a good one, you can go in and say, "Oh, I'll order way more." But yeah, it's where you're going to store it.
And
You can use
delivery
prep
costs is
and
lower.
yeah, it's tricky. I actually was thinking the best way to do it might be, although obviously it costs more money, but I'm pretty sure if you're paying £1,000 for a storage unit, like a warehouse, sorry, could you not buy one under the business and pay less on a mortgage? And at least that way you're actually paying into like, actually having the unit at the end of the day. I don't know. I've
I
not really looked into it too
I mean,
much,
I was
but
thinking the same in regards to my buying a property, just for the business and having that as being
yeah,
almost the offices and everything to do with the business, related, but it's something that's gonna happen eventually, I do think. So, I mean, I do wanna go into property. I know it's very cheesy and everybody wants to get money, get into the property and doing stuff, but,
yeah,
I love DIY. I couldn't think of anything better than doing DIY in
sure.
my day, I love it. I just love pottering about, making stuff. I mean, you've seen the garage, hopefully you've seen the garage over the last couple of years, how it was and what it
Yeah,
is. I mean, if
yeah,
people go back to my first 2, 3 videos, you'll see what it was, and hence
yeah,
as to why it's a tinfoil room, literally, and it
yeah.
was even worse, it
Bits
was
like hanging off the ceiling.
yeah, it's
Yeah, so
and I think
yeah.
this is why I think this is why I've got people watching the channel is because it was so raw, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
so
Well, it's kind of relatable as well because I guess a lot of people do have like a little garage, and they're like, "Oh, I can turn that into a little business." And it's like, yeah, you can
you
if you're willing to put
can
the work in. I don't even have a garage, but yeah, people say, "Oh, I could just turn my little garage or my little shed into a little business." It's like, yeah, you can do. Put the
you
work in.
really, really can, and then
Um,
you just scale it to
yeah,
what you want it to be for yourself. Does you want it to be a
yeah,
financial freedom for yourself or just an extra it's your mortgage. If you want there's no way that people could not use Amazon to pay off their
yeah,
mortgage.
yeah. It's honestly like I mean, it sounds a bit arrogant, but it's so easy to make like a small amount of money on Amazon. Like if you want to make an extra £500 or £1,000, like I don't know, I just find that
It's
it would be
autopilot. It's
so
autopilot,
easy.
isn't it? After a
Yeah,
couple of months, it's autopilot, especially if you're somebody who's financially capable and understanding
yeah,
that you can use credit card to spend maybe the first 2 weeks of the credit card and then use the 2 weeks for the item to sell, and then you have your money to pay the credit card too.
yeah.
If you don't want the first 2 weeks, spend on the first week of the credit card, and then it will get sold and you'll have the money kind of thing.
If you
Because
just
even if something sells, it
yeah,
still takes 2 weeks. But you don't even need a credit card. Just
yeah.
start it kind of thing.
Just join a Discord group, any of them, and you can probably make at least £1,000 a month off, like the pings and stuff on there, the Amsterdams and stuff. It's honestly not that difficult,
And
and
the
everyone has
advice
their
too.
kind of thresholds that they try and push through. But mine seems to be sort of like the 8 to 10K mark. I seem to struggle to go beyond that, but when I got into it though, with Amazon to Amazon stuff, I was just doing 2,000 a month without any effort whatsoever. But obviously that's not quite happening right now. But it might come back. You never know. So you got to be
Yeah.
in there to get the opportunity. But yeah, it's honestly you could if your mortgage is only like 500 to 1,000, you could easily pay that off. If you but you have to have the capital, I guess that's the thing. So and if you don't
Well,
have it, just build it up over time.
well,
So
that's it. Instead of spending time on the computer, just do something else. Just
yeah,
do something else. Like as simple as, and it's. I don't know about you. I love learning about it. I love learning
yeah,
about it constantly. I love talking. I mean, this is so nice to talk to someone that who's doing the same thing and uh,
absolutely.
is doing the same thing but completely different too.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm almost a step behind you though, because you're a few more years advanced in Amazon, and now you're like more to private label. 'Cause,
uh,
my first sale was July 6th, 2022, and you were doing Amazon way before that, weren't you?
21, I want to say. I'll have a
Yeah,
quick look. I have a quick look.
so
Uh,
you got like 33% more. experience than me. But you've now transitioned into a really good private
Yeah,
label business.
I'll be honest with you, the business has started again from the beginning, due to the fact of me changing the business model.
Sure.
Um,
But that's a
but
natural transition that comes in. It's very difficult, I think, to do private label off the bat without having any experience on Amazon. I'm not saying you can't do it, but doing OA and RA and knowing how the whole Amazon thing works makes it life way easier to get into like private label and wholesale than just going in. Because you imagine trying to do, and people try and do this like wholesale off the bat without not knowing anything about Amazon, without knowing
not
any product research.
without even being VAT registered.
Yeah,
Without
which
even
yeah,
being
but
VAT registered. It's insane.
because like I guess the biggest thing you learn is learning how to read the keeper charts and knowing whether something's a good buy or not. And can you imagine going out and buying some like big wholesale order for like 2, 3, 5 grand or whatever, and then you find out you can't even sell that brand or it's just gonna brick or whatever. So yeah.
I'm trying to find the name. I couldn't find it. It's that far back. It's not going. So I've got 2021 is still out there. It's a take. I know I saw the Take That DVD, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
So that's another business model. There's a guy in America called Rakin Profits, I think his name is, and his entire Amazon business model is buying off.
books,
What you
isn't
don't want
it?
me to say?
It's
Sorry.
books. It's books, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, no,
Well,
no,
he
that's what
start.
it does, isn't it? Raking
Oh
profits.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it does, doesn't it?
I thought he was saying that.
Raking
Stop
profits.
talking. Stop talking.
No, 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 no.
Uh,
It does raking profits,
yeah,
doesn't
I
it?
think he
That's who
started with
starts it.
books, and now he does multiple other things like electronics, DVDs, and stuff. But
Does
he
he?
buys them from eBay, used or new and used, and then sells them on. I think it's mostly new, actually. To be fair, but he buys them from eBay. That's his source, and then he sells them on Amazon.
See,
So
last time I checked on him, he was doing books, so it must have been a
yeah,
long time. But yeah, he used to do
yeah.
like raking profits and used to do that.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
does pretty well, to be honest. He obviously doesn't say exactly what he sells, but I think he's got into electronics, things like that. He's got his VAs all looking for particular. Obviously, there's certain electronics, especially ones that are let's say there's a camcorder that's no longer made anymore, and Amazon don't sell it, and it's like out of stock. Some people selling those like new on, or maybe like used like new on
Like new.
eBay, and people maybe want a new one. They're like familiar with the model and they want that model again. They'll buy that and they'll pay a premium for it. So there's
It's still,
all
I think, a big market in America for used stuff. Because
yeah, yeah.
I love watching American YouTubers doing it. Like who's is Thrift School? I think Thrift School or Thrift Mine. I think
I've
it's
not
Thrift
seen that
School.
guy
I
actually.
think it's Thrift School. He does Amazon, but he does DVDs and used DVDs
Yeah.
and used CDs, and he makes like a silly amount of money. And
I mean,
then
that's what happens if you send your books and stuff to like We Buy Any Books or whatever. They're going to end up on Amazon because They're like some of the biggest Amazon sellers. But the difficulty with us in the UK though is you can't mix really new and used together because of the VAT problems with it. You can't claim the VAT back on used
yeah,
items, so you have to use the marginal scheme. And I don't think a business can have both them. Well, maybe it can do, but it becomes more complicated having the normal VAT scheme and the marginal scheme. So you kind of need two separate businesses.
it becomes
It's something
complicated,
I've
doesn't it?
considered doing actually is getting into the used thing. But it's like CEX, for example, for anyone in the UK, CEX, you can sell them a brand new item and they will never sell it as new because they can't, because their VAT structure is that they only have to sell used items. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, there's another way you can do business. We're going out little tips here.
I love it, man. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So, but yeah, like be curious. Like go on YouTube and stuff. There's so much information on
There's
YouTube. It's
so
the
much
best
info.
resource out there for learning anything. And just on Amazon alone, there's probably thousands of YouTubers out there.
But there's so many people
Yeah,
doing it.
and you just find someone you like, their personality, like their like I don't know the way they do the videos, and just gravitate towards
There's
them.
just not one way of doing it, isn't it? It's just there's not one way
Yeah,
of doing it.
absolutely.
You've got to do what you feel happy with. So, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. Do you want to do beauty products and have tiny things taken over and over again? Do you want to do your toys?
absolutely.
You got to choose what you want to do with it, really. But I think the big one is just start it. Do if you're on the fence at Amazon. And by the way, starting Amazon now, it will be your quietest time, isn't it? That's the thing. It will be the
Yeah,
quietest time. So if you can make your 200-300 quid now on Amazon, just think what you're going to be doing by Christmas time.
yeah.
If you're jumping on it. So
Yeah, because you need to start now because it takes a long time to build up and it takes a long time to learn. So don't put it off. Create the account, get started. Join a Discord group, hire a coach, or
it's worth it, isn't it?
or
It's worth
do
it. Disco
YouTube.
group is worth it. I think
Yeah,
you need
absolutely.
to
I recommend that as
any
the
any
best sort of middle ground, like because it's only like what 50, 60 quid a month, whatever for whatever group you do. You know, you've obviously got level 60,
yeah.
and you get all the pings in there. You can ask people questions. It's the fastest sort of way to learn for you know, for £60 a month.
You
Obviously,
just
the
go in and
best
ask
way is
questions.
coaching, but
Yeah,
obviously it's more expensive. But yeah, you can just Discord group, I think. And if you're really thrifty and you don't want to spend, you know, really tight, you don't want to spend any money, then YouTube. But I think it's a much harder way to learn everything, I guess.
yeah.
I think the biggest issue is you don't know what you can sell, and that's what groups help you with. Although it might end up like maybe
Well, it gives you ideas,
putting the
doesn't it?
blinkers on,
I
maybe on
know,
certain
but it
products,
does give you
but
ideas
it
of
does
what
give you
people are
ideas.
selling.
Yeah,
It does
yeah,
give you ideas of what people are selling. For example, I mean, 2, 3 years ago, there's no way that people would thought they're going to be selling chimeneas for like 200 quid, buying it for 50
yeah,
and selling it the same day for 200. The hot tub scenario, that was insane. I mean, for me, I was saying weighing plates, I was buying them for 40 and selling them for 200. It was insane. And
yeah,
and again, you've got a bit of a community. Yes, you do pay money for it, but there's no way that if you put your 60 quid down, you're not going to get anything from any reselling group. For any reselling group, you'll be getting
yeah.
information off them. And
That's
I've
why I'm
always,
in like so many because I'm just like one good thing I paid for the year. Yeah,
yeah,
that's how good it is. Like, or one average thing I paid for the month.
mhm. Yeah, and I've always had the same mentality in myself, and whichever group you decide to go with, and that's it. You know, what I mean, the every single group, I believe, they should be able to give you what you need off them. Uh, and you can try them all. Try them all. You've
Yeah,
got to. Like, there's not for me. There's no one group's better than the other. Kind of mentality is we're all doing something. We're all on the Amazon space.
yeah.
I know there's a
Ev-
lot of I know there's a
every
lot of beef at the moment between groups.
Yeah, every group. Oh yeah, some of them definitely. Yeah, like accusing each other of stealing their leads and stuff. All I'm going to say to those people is just move on. Don't worry about it. Just look forward. Don't look at the
Yeah,
past.
yeah.
But yeah, every group has its strengths and weaknesses. Like some are really good at doing like online arbitrage. Some are really good at retail arbitrage. You know, some have a better community. Others have a more toxic community. Some have really good Amazon to Amazon. You know, it's all over the place. But yeah, it's a really good way to learn. So you can plug your Discord group.
I mean that
Check out
yes,
the
I
link in the
think the
description.
problem I know the problem, Simon, is that I never plug it. I think that's the issue.
Yeah,
I do a video once
yeah,
every 6 months about levels reselling, and that's it. And I guess this
yeah.
is why we've only got 26 members. Uh,
You've got a member cap, haven't you?
yeah, it's 60.
60.
It's 60,
Uh,
and that's it. I think
yeah,
2 years ago we were going to do it up to 150, get 60 and 99. But I was like, nah, there's no point. Just have my 60 members, and at least I know them. I know if somebody messages on
yeah,
Discord, I know who the person is. Kind of mentality
absolutely. Yeah.
with this, but mate, it's been enjoyable. Very very
Yeah,
nice.
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think.
I enjoyed chatting and hopefully people who
I
will
enjoyed
watch
your
it are
video. I
enjoying
enjoyed
it.
your video driving the other day too.
Oh, awesome.
I,
Yeah.
I
So
I
appreciate
put it
that.
on. I put it on TV, and my wife was like, "What's he driving? He's driving a bus." She's like, "What?" It's like, it looked massive. It looked
It's a
massive.
Lamborghini. It
Yeah,
was, isn't it? No,
looked
yeah. So yeah, I
massive.
thought I've filmed those in the past, but I got the idea from you, by the way. You know, when you're doing your RA trips, you put the GoPro. I
It's
think
just a
wherever you
lot of
put
dead
it.
time, isn't it? It's a lot of dead
I was
time.
like, because I drive back every weekend to my parents, and it's like an hour and a half. I was like, why not? And then I did a few, but the audio was terrible through the GoPro. So eventually, like, I was like, all right, I'll get one of these proper little microphone things.
They're
I
quite
spent
good
like,
though. They are good.
yeah, I got the DJI mic 2, whatever it is. I
Yeah,
saw
that's
that
the one
pop
I've
up.
got. Yeah.
It's really it's cool actually. And then I upgraded my mic to the Shure SM7 here.
Oh, you've gone full in.
Well, I was like, yeah, because I recorded a video on my other one, which is a 200 quid one, but for some reason it kept coming out tinny, and I was like, that's twice now I've recorded a video and the audio's been crap. I was like, I'm just gonna get a good one. I was like, what's the best one to buy? So I was like, sure, whatever, expense it, you know, get the VAT off, get the, you know, it's fine. So you
It's
basically
when
get
you
like a
start
full.
getting the console and everything for the audio. That's the other
I
thing.
did look at those, but I was like, that's
You
a
get one
bit
of
too
these
far.
too. You start getting these and start getting the consoles and all that. It's just insane.
Yeah. So that they
So
had Shaw did this extra little thing. It's like tiny little, I don't know, it's called MX. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, which lets you. Because I was trying to figure out how you connect these mics to the computer, they're XLRs, and I was like, "You need like one of these big input devices." I was
Yeah,
like,
I've got one.
"I don't really."
But
You
I've
got
got
one?
yeah, yeah. So I've got a two-way. So this one, the one I've got connects with the USB, but
Okay.
um, I, I don't know if it's any different. I've got the XLR, but I got it 3, 4 months after having this one. I thought slowly, slowly, Nick, come on,
Okay.
don't go crazy. But I think
Y
you're just
y
like, I'm getting a console now too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I never thought I'd so, yeah, in, like, 1 month, I spent nearly 1,000 quid on microphones. But audio is the most important thing for
It
video,
really is.
so, and I was getting fed up. I was like, "I nailed that video, like, 1 take," and I go to play it back and edit it in Final Cut Pro, and it's all, like, tinny, and I'm like, "No, I can't bring myself to re-record that." And it'll
Oh,
never be as good, so I was like, "No, I'm just gonna get a good microphone," and yeah, so this is the one that Joe Rogan uses and stuff. So I was like, yeah, it's the
yeah.
best one.
It's
Everyone
good enough
says
for him.
so.
It's good enough for us.
Yeah, exactly. So, and hopefully, I only need to buy it once, and it'll last forever.
No, it
So,
sounds good. To be fair, it does sound
I
good.
good appreciate that. Yeah, I just wasn't sure about the XLR stuff, but figured it out in the end. So, yeah, but yeah, cool. Yeah, it's been good chatting anyway, and
No, it's been good, and
we were leveling up our podcasting abilities and equipment. So,
we keep
next
spending, guys. We keep spending money. We
yeah,
keep
next we'll
spending.
have multiple cameras coming in and be able to switch it using our
Imagine
little,
and multiple guests. It'd be nice to have a few people on too. That'd be
yeah,
interesting because
absolutely.
there's so many good people out there doing this. There's
Yeah,
so many people doing it without the
yeah,
toxicity too. Without the
yeah,
toxicity.
absolutely. I'm
So
just intrigued to interview people who like do things differently, like seeing how they're doing it. I actually tried to get one of my Discord sort of buddies to come on who's doing really well, but he was like, "There's no way you can get me online." He's really secretive, so I was like, "All right, fair enough, he
right.
won't come on." But yeah, I was like, we can like put a balaclava review and like
Imagine.
you know and like change your voice, but he's like, no. Like yeah, but yeah, it'd be good to get some people on, just
Yeah, for
yeah, I
sure.
guess like,
For sure.
and just interview, I guess not interview them, but like, just talk about different things and hopefully it motivates people to get into Amazon or start a business. And that's the main thing I'm trying to do is get people to get out there. If they've got a crummy job and they want to change their lives, they can do Amazon's a great way to do it,
Simple
so
as.
you know,
Simple as.
yeah. Well, yeah. It's hard work, but anything worth doing is. So yeah.
It really is, mate.
Awesome.
No, that's
Cool.
brilliant. Thanks
Go
for
and build
everyone.
some Lego.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Or if you can,
yeah.
we've got the podcast coming out, and I've got it on all platforms. I managed to get it on all platforms, so even
Oh,
Apple.
nice.
So if
Oh,
anyone
that's
wants to
cool.
search for it, yeah, and then we've got it on YouTube, and I'll make sure again the show notes. I've got a YouTube channel and everything, Simon. But thanks so much for
Sure.
today.
Yeah, no problem. If anyone wants to catch me, it's FBA Mogul, so on YouTube and Discord and stuff. But yeah, awesome. Yeah, appreciate it. And I'll
Cheers.
yeah, see you in the next one.